AP World History Topic 9.7 Resistance to Globalization. Essential question: what were the various responses to globalization from 1900 to the present? Responses to globalization from 1900 to the present have been varied, reflecting different concerns and priorities related to cultural, economic, environmental, and political aspects of globalization. These responses have come from both governmental and non-governmental sources, encompassing a spectrum of reactions ranging from embracing globalization to vehemently resisting its effects. One of the prominent responses to globalization has been economic resistance, driven by concerns over the unequal distribution of economic resources and the dominance of multinational corporations and global financial institutions. The formation of organizations like the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, GATT, the European Economic Union, Mercosur, and the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, aim to foster global economic prosperity. However, the transition to the World Trade Organization, WTO, in 1995 intensified concerns regarding its closed-door decision-making processes, which many perceived as favoring corporate interests over public welfare. The Battle of Seattle in 1999 marked a significant turning point, with widespread protests against the WTO's policies, symbolizing the emergence of the anti-globalization movement. These protests highlighted issues such as labor exploitation, environmental degradation, and threats to national sovereignty. Moreover, economic globalization has been met with skepticism due to its adverse effects on working conditions and environmental sustainability. Scandals revealing child labor in cocoa production and harsh working conditions in multinational corporations like Amazon's warehouses underscored the human costs of globalization. The collapse of the Rana Plaza factory in Bangladesh in 2013, claiming over 1,000 lives, further exposed the perils faced by workers in pursuit of economic growth. Critics also pointed out the environmental damage caused by increased fuel consumption in global trade and deforestation for industries such as cattle farming in Brazil. However, proponents of globalization argue that it can also facilitate sustainable development, citing examples like Costa Rica's ecotourism industry. Resistance to globalization is not solely economic, it also extends to cultural spheres. Countries like North Korea, Saudi Arabia, and China have resisted cultural globalization, particularly through stringent internet censorship and control. These nations seek to preserve their cultural identity and autonomy amid the influx of foreign ideas and values facilitated by globalization. For instance, China's crackdown on social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook in favor of state-controlled alternatives reflects its efforts to manage cultural influences and maintain social stability. Furthermore, resistance to globalization has political dimensions, as seen in movements like Brexit, where concerns over national sovereignty and immigration fueled opposition to European integration. Brexit exemplifies how globalization can provoke backlash from both liberal and conservative groups, reflecting divergent views on its implications for national identity and governance. In response to the challenges posed by globalization, anti-globalization activists advocate for measures aimed at promoting human rights, fair trade, sustainable development, and debt relief. These efforts seek to address the inequities and injustices perpetuated by global economic systems and institutions. Moreover, the advent of social media has facilitated the dissemination of anti-globalization ideas and mobilization of activists worldwide, despite government efforts to control online discourse in some regions. In conclusion, responses to globalization have been multifaceted, reflecting concerns over economic inequality, cultural homogenization, environmental degradation, and threats to national sovereignty. While some advocate for greater global integration and cooperation, others resist globalization's perceived negative consequences, advocating for measures to prioritize human welfare, equitable development, and cultural diversity in the face of global economic and cultural forces.